My life has always been fairly comfortable. I have good parents, live in a good neighborhood, and have a good school life. But there's one thing I'm not very familiar with, and that is personal suffering. I've never had an abundance of suffering, nor have I ever really had to help someone through tough times. But that began to change last year when my class was assigned to do 40-hour projects. I, looking for something new and not fully knowing what I was getting into, chose to research the Holocaust. I started by opening my computer and just finding what I could, but what I found made me want to throw my computer at a wall. I pored over stories of the ovens, rat poison, and many other ways the Jews were exterminated, and I began to grow physically and emotionally sick. But that was just the start, as the next part of my journey was going to the Holocaust Museum in Richmond, Virginia. I did not know how much worse it could get, but I was in for a rude awakening. I wandered through the hallways, dark and somber, and took in the horrors they told of. Barbed wire and wooden bunks, fire and pain, and pictures of shriveled husks that should never have qualified as bodies thrown into piles like dead leaves. As I wondered how people could be so evil, I wondered how people could be so evil. All of my research culminated in one afternoon, as I got the privilege to speak with a Holocaust survivor. Dr. Zev Harel, my link to the past, a living history book, had experienced enough suffering for many lifetimes. I sat across from him and listened to his story of how his family was rounded up like cattle, how he lied about his age once he reached Auschwitz, and how he was split off from the rest of his family, never to see them again. Although he was old, slouched in his chair, and was losing his hair, I could still see the fight and the pain in his eyes. I left with a better sense of how warped the world is, and I feel strongly that the experience I went through, while researching arguably the worst period of time in history, helped to start my transition into adulthood.